What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Max Gallegos here with another sports rant. And oh boy, do we have a show. Much to the dismay of many NFL owners, teams, and executives, the Tush push will continue to be a football play used in the NFL. They voted on it today. They needed 24 votes to pass the ban. They got 22. The team that initialized it, the Green Bay Packers, actually, the irony was not lost on Twitter today because their loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs last year was 22-10. There was also the decision, the split between teams voting against the Tush push and voting for it. So, I like everybody else, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Unfortunately, we lost a great member of our NFL family. Jim Irsay passed away, and he was a beloved owner of the Indianapolis Colts. He was one of the, he drafted, he was a Super Bowl champion. He drafted Peyton Manning. He did a lot of good things for the city of Indianapolis, and he will be missed. And yeah, I think, but I wanted to do that first, but I would like to give my thoughts on the Tush push. It would have been, even if it had been banned, it would have been a weird play to actually go through and ban, because it doesn't really make sense, because it's like, oh, do you ban the QB sneak? Or do you ban a guy pushing from the back, or pushing from the side, or pushing, because it was something that Bill Belichick was great at, manipulating the rules, being like, well, I interpreted the rules this way, that's why everybody thought I cheated. And finding loopholes or ways or tweaks or other things in the rules that they've set so plainly and clearly down, I think is incredibly blasé. It is trying to pin down the Tush push. Yes, it's not very fun to watch. But you're watching it on 4th and 1, 3rd and inches. Most of the time, yeah, you're also handing off the ball anyway. It works. That's really the problem that everybody has with it, is it is so effective and it works so well. And obviously not enough people were affected by it to say, no, this is not the greatest, the thing that needs to be banned, so it was not banned. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that subject. Speaking, though, of the city of Indianapolis, Mr. Jim Irsay passed away. Rest in peace to him, and my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. But his final tweet via Adam Schefter was, "Go Pacers. Good luck to Herb and the entire Pacers organization and our city." You know what the Indiana Pacers did tonight? Probably one of the most incredible comebacks I have seen in a very long time. And we got to see a lot this playoff series, but this is a Tyrese Haliburton masterclass. Also credit to pull up his name here. His name escaped me. Scored 5 threes in the final moments of tonight's game. Mr. Aaron Naismith. Sorry, I'm so sorry that name just slipped right through my brain. Yeah, what a performance! 5 straight threes, 6 in the fourth. That is all-time performance level stuff. And once the game went to overtime, it was pretty much over for the Knicks. There was just too much momentum. There was too much going for the Pacers. They just had too much. And they were able to seal the deal. I love this Indiana team. I was very hesitant on them a lot throughout the playoffs because I was like, oh, they're young. But if you just think about them on a basketball sense and you just kind of like take away the names, take away the Pacers, take away everything, it's like they're big, strong, athletic, physical. They play defense, but they can also shoot. They are like a very just well-rounded, tough basketball team. They play a lot of northern New Mexico basketball. They're in your face. They're playing defense. They play till the bitter end. They didn't give up at all tonight, and they won in MSG. And they sent Tyrese Haliburton's clutch shooting is also, he deserves tons and tons and tons of credit because what he has done in this playoffs has been all-time level stuff. Moving from twice in the series against the Cavs, making plays to win the game, tie the game, win the series. Those were monumental movements. The movement and the motion that he has presented and started has been legendary. The overrated narrative is absolutely bogus. I think a lot of it stems from him being him in the USA winning a USA gold medal without really doing anything because he was on one of the greatest Team USA's ever assembled, but he still got a gold medal. But it seems kind of bogus. And that anonymous player poll, I know everybody and their mom has talked about the anonymous player poll. He has just proved it wrong time and time and time again. He is set up to be a legendary Pacers player up there with Reggie Miller. This is his second conference finals. It's back-to-back conference finals. And he's an exciting young player. And he's a distributor too. We've gotten into the shot heavy guards of like the James Hardens, the Steph Curry is kind of a shot heavy guard, even though he is a great distributor. But everybody kind of got into like Jalen Brunson is a shot heavy guard. SGA is a shot heavy guard. And he is just not. He is kind of like an older. Plays an older style, like a Magic style, like a John Stockton style, where he's like, yeah, I'm pass first kind of fella. But he still gets his. He's still gonna have the ball in his hands at the end of the shot clock. He'll still have the ball in his hands when the game is on the line. And this Indy team looks just fantastic. And it kind of makes me emotional because it was just good basketball, especially compared to like the Knicks. It wasn't like the Knicks rolled over either. The Knicks were in this game, but it was just so much more from Haliburton. Because there was a moment in there when Jalen Brunson got pulled from the game. He also had 43 and 5 in this game, so like, he was not a non-factor, and he only played 37 minutes. Granted, that was counting overtime and stuff. But anyway, there was a point where he had 5 fouls and Tibbs had to pull him out. And then the Knicks went on a 10-point run. So the Knicks are... This is not panic button mode. You're not slamming the desk demanding answers. I think you're just like, you know what, we just can't let Aaron Naismith score 5 back-to-back threes in crunch time. We just need to just choke them out. Don't try and rip their head off, right? And, yeah. But this basketball game was great compared to the Western Conference Finals, which was, as a television product, was awful. We'll just lay it on right there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is the MVP now. The way he gets to the free throw line, I know a lot of people don't like the way he does this, and I'm going to sit here and I know it's frustrating, and I know it's ugly, and I do agree with you that it is not fun to watch, and it is not even fun to play that kind of style of basketball. It's not a very easily consumed style at all. We bashed on James Harden for this. We'll bash on Shai forever for this. We bash even Jalen Brunson, who is beloved. We bash the shit out of him for it. Because it is just kind of an ugly style of basketball. Especially when he's like, just throw. I'm going to throw. So it's just like, that's not a basketball play. But what it is it is smart. Getting his team, getting to the free throw line, getting people in foul trouble, wins basketball games. Whether you like it or not, it works. James Harden won the MVP for it, so did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And it's just, this is a reality of what happens when you are that kind of caliber of player. And he is that kind of caliber of player where he is going to get calls. And what he does better than a guy like James Harden is he actually is going to the basket when he is trying to get these foul calls, rather than James Harden would do it, you'd stick out your hand. There would be times when where the defender would stick out his hand and James would just throw his arms into him. So you couldn't even hand check a guy or just kind of play defense. James would immediately try and draw fouls. Yes, Shai does the same kind of shit. He just does it driving to the basket most of the time, right? He does that kind of his kind of bumps and it's a lot of the stuff we saw in February. The head goes back, boom. That's something. Whenever you watch Shai, always look for it's like he's trying to get hair out of his eyes, right? It's just very an uninspired kind of basketball product. It's not very exciting, but credit that it works. It works in the regular season for the most part. In this game specifically, it worked. It hasn't always worked for him in the playoffs, as we've seen with a couple of games where it's like he just doesn't get to the line. I think it was in the Denver series, there were games where he was just really not that big of a factor because he was not at the free throw line, and that's where he does his work. And also, Anthony Edwards going out of this game with an ankle for a couple quarters was it just makes it so unentertaining and just kind of boring. Because Anthony Edwards, for somebody who has been very critical and been like, oh my gosh, and I've kind of had my come to Jesus moment with Anthony, and I think I've had a relieving feeling. I've tried to wash myself of the old head thing of, well, he hasn't won anything, why are we talking about him? And just saying, well, yeah, he's very entertaining, and he's awesome. And when he's not on the basketball court, it is... I love Julius Randle, and he's having the playoffs of a lifetime. But he's not Anthony Edwards. He's just not, like, it's just not the same. And the other night, it was just not the same kind of basketball product we were used to seeing from Anthony Edwards. It was like 13 shots, not really very big of a factor. And he has to be a big factor in these playoffs, in this series specifically, if they want to beat the Thunder. And if he wants to go further than he did last year. You always want to build on things, right? Like that's the way of improvement, right? The way to improve is I'm 1% better every day. That was like the Kobe Bryant mantra. That's the Mamba mentality. It was to get better every day. So we are now. This is where you failed last year. You couldn't get past Luka. You couldn't get past this guy. You have to beat Shea now. You have to beat a very good defensive team who can kind of match you in the size and physicality. So what you have to do is you have to be the better star. You have to be better than SGA. So you are the factor. Anthony Edwards is the key that unlocks the door to a championship run. Whether it's against the Knicks or the Pacers, we'll see. But I think if the Wolves win, which is a big if, I think they would kind of be slated to win the championship. If the Thunder, none of these teams feel like they all feel like they could beat each other in one way or another. They all feel like they could win a championship, and just this is the cool thing about the parity. 7 different champions in 7 different years. We don't really know. We have no idea. We were at the beginning of May, or the beginning of the playoffs, rather. We were talking about Lakers in 5, and then we realized that Gabe Vincent is not a great not a great fit. The Lakers don't have a center, so it's been it's been good. I know it's been, the parity has been something that's never happened in NBA history since the 60s, since the 50s. Really, actually never in NBA history. If you think about it, the 1950s, George Mikan, 1960s, Bill Russell and the Celtics. In the 70s, there was parity. But then you get the 80s with Lakers, Celtics. Then you get the 90s with Michael Jordan. And then you get the 2000s with Kobe and Shaq. So, and then of course the Spurs. And then you get to the 2010s, you get the Cavs, Warriors dynasty, the whole dynasty. So since it's been 50 years, ironically, that we have had this sort of parity. Since it was an NBA and ABA and who knows what else. It is a brand new horizon. Not necessarily a brand new horizon, but it is a new horizon for modern NBA basketball. I think it's so fascinating. Well, guys, that is probably going to be the video. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe. Comment something hateful, something loving. I don't really care, just do it. And then also, if you could please go follow my TikTok at @AnotherSportsRant. Go follow my Instagram at @AnotherSportsRant. And my X. Post some updates, meme stuff. It all is heard there first. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. You don't have to love me. Peace out.